Hello everybody! Phantom Zwei here, and actually I am just doing a quick channel update for you guys to kind of inform you the direction that I intend to be taking the channel and hopefully get a little input from you guys as well on what you'd like to see, what you think of kind of the direction that I'm intending, and hopefully we can meet somewhere in the middle if our ideas are not exactly in line. Hopefully they are. We'll find out. In any case, if you haven't already noticed, the final episode of Danganronpa 1 should have gone up today for you guys. So as of the time of this video going up, you should be able to watch that all the way through the finale at episode 51. So, with that in mind, what's next? Danganronpa 2 will be beginning on the channel as of Sunday. And of course, Sei Narukana will be continuing on the channel. Sei Narukana will now be moving into the slot that I've been using for Danganronpa up until now. That is to say, the daily slot, basically. Because, it's been on the back burner kind of for Danganronpa. And now that we have finished with Danganronpa 1, I want to kind of hopefully make a little more progress more quickly on Sei Narukana. So expect to see that. You'll see Sei Narukana every day, and you will see Danganronpa every other day. Just like you were seeing with Danganronpa 1 and Sei Narukana, except for reversed. I don't know if necessarily everybody kind of caught on to that being the schedule that I was taking with the series, but hey, that's what I was doing. You won't see an episode of Sei Narukana today, which is an exception to that rule, but that's basically just because I want to start kind of the new schedule out on Sunday. But that's neither here nor there. So, other than those two things, I did want to mention real quick that kind of, I guess, what my mind is in for this series that comes next. Or at least what I'll be doing, I know I'll be doing, basically, when the time comes. And I'm definitely going to be doing a series on Decapo 3 when that releases, which is apparently going to be pretty soon, which is why I'm bringing this up. Manga Gamer actually posted an update on Twitter, they do this fairly frequently, on how their games are translating and where they're at and such. And as of the update they posted today, well, I guess technically yesterday at this point because it's after midnight, but I digress. That update said basically that Decapo 3 was 95% translated, which means that I think we can expect it fairly soon, maybe even in July, if I had to guess. Which, would be pretty cool. I'm kind of an unabashed fan of the Decapo series, even though I realize that they're, not the most... Oh, it's hopeless. Not the most engrossing games in the universe from a, kind of a character perspective, such as that. I just find them endearing. And so I kind of want to continue the trend of playing Decapo 3, and since I love my blind Let's Plays, I figure I'll play that on the channel. With that said, you also are probably noticing that I've played some Sunrider Liberation here, as I'm talking to you about all this. So why am I doing that as I talk to you about all these other games that I'm going to be playing on the channel? Well, the reason that I'm doing that, and I know I'm playing very poorly, I'm not really focused on what I'm doing, I'm just clicking around, and I'm also not very good at the game, but that's neither here nor there. But the reason I'm doing that is I'm intending on bringing reviews back to the channel. And I've been thinking about this for a good long while, actually. This isn't something that's just come to me as of now, and I decided to do it. I've been thinking about this kind of... Well, I've been thinking about it for a long time, but I've been seriously considering it probably for about 2 months now. I've been kind of thinking about how I could adapt it, what I could change about the reviews that I used to do, because looking at them now, I don't like the way that I really formatted them very much. I've also come to really not appreciate scoring for games very much over the past few years. So my reviews from here on won't actually have a score at the end, but they will rather kind of list a series of pros and cons objectively, along with, kind of my own opinions interspersed throughout the review, but in the summary at the end, just the facts. And just let people kind of make up their own minds is the way I wanted to do it. But I'm going to be reviewing Sunrider Liberation Day as my first review, starting up again, which is the reason that I am playing this. I've already actually completed Sunrider Liberation Day. I've completed the main campaign as well as the quote-unquote DLC expansion that Love in Space released. And of course I'll go much more into detail about that in the review. Suffice it to say, I think that it's a very interesting situation, and there's enough I feel like I have to say about this game that it basically spurred me into motivation to say, you know what, yes, this is what's going to make me actually get back and do some reviews for the channel. I've got some other things, obviously, I'd like to review, but for now, I have a lot to say, not only about the game of Sunrider, but kind of the situation surrounding its launch, because I find it fascinating, and kind of the strange place that Love in Space finds themselves in with Sunrider Liberation and its launch. Not that I necessarily want to kind of get into too much about that in the review, obviously. I just want to lay out the facts and kind of be like, well, given those circumstances, here's how things panned out. But I do find it kind of a fascinating situation, and that has intrigued me. So, I'd like to hear what you guys think. Are you guys interested at this point in reviews on the channel? Because this is something I haven't really publicly gone out and asked. I've had a couple of streams where I've talked about the idea. I even kind of mentioned the name that I plan to use for the reviews before in a stream, that kind of thing. But, I haven't really gone out and asked, my channel as a whole, the viewership, what do you guys think about this? Because when I used to, that was originally kind of what I did on my channel. My channel was all over the place initially. I had like a couple of music videos on the channel. I think I actually still have my Phantom Inferno music video up. If it hasn't been muted, I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, I did some reviews, and they're terrible quality now. If you don't know about them, you're really not missing much. I'll put it that way. But I feel like I could do considerably better now, at least from not necessarily like a presentation perspective, because my video editing skills aren't exactly very good even now or anything like that. But I do feel like I could offer a little bit of a more professional take on the games, and not just a professional take, but I feel like the system that I have conceived, and I'm also borrowing ideas from elsewhere. I don't want to make it seem like I've thought of this all on my own, but with those ideas in mind, I feel like it would be more organized, and of course, with a lot of these games where you'd be spending money, the idea is that it would help people. It would help people basically decide what they want to spend their money on for games that I'm not going to do a playthrough of, because I still want to continue LPs of games. But there are certain games that companies are coming out and saying now that they straight up just don't want to be streamed or LP'd or anything like that. And when they come public and say that they don't want those, I'm not going to make LPs of them. So not just in those cases, but also games where I just don't want to go through the whole process. 'Cause obviously, it takes a lot more time to record an LP than it does to just play through the game myself, because, of course, I always say all the lines in the microphone, and obviously I read a lot faster with my eyes than I do when I'm waiting for every single line of dialogue to finish speaking and stuff, which is what I like to do, because I know you guys would get really annoyed with me if I were skipping through voice dialogue doing LPs. I know I would be annoyed if I were watching those kinds of videos. So that's totally reasonable. But yeah, hopefully you guys know where I'm coming from. Let me know what you think. Let me know also if you guys are interested in, kind of a Capo 3 series, I think it's something that I'm going to do unless there's just a lot of backlash on it. Just because, personally I have enjoyed those games, and they're very slice of lifey, which most of the visual novels I do on this channel kind of aren't. They kind of have other genres going on in general. So, I feel like it kind of shakes things up a little bit on the channel as well in terms of genres and such. But, yes, I'm trying to think if there's any other facts I needed to hit. But no, I think that's basically it. So, yeah, you guys will let me know what you think about this, if anything. And if not, then hey, this is kind of the general direction of the channel I'm planning as of now. So as always, thank you guys very much for watching. And I'll see you guys next time.